After years of trial and error, I finally cracked it. This 5-step hack I'm about to share with you, they're exactly why I've been consistent with my fitness for years. And if you apply them, you'll find it's not about having endless motivation. It's about building a system that makes quitting way harder than just showing up for your workouts. If you're ready to go from I always quit to I stick to what I start, then this video is for you. Also, if you stick around until the end, you'll hear about the mistakes I made so you can avoid the second guessing, stay on track, and see results much faster. And if you're new to my channel, welcome. I'm Kriti and I talk about mental frameworks to help you stay disciplined and consistent in today's world. Alright, so let's jump right into it. How many times have you had the right motivation, stocked your fridge with all the healthy ingredients, looked up low-fat recipes, and told yourself, this time I'm doing it, only to find that 3 weeks later you're skipping your workouts, taking a short break that somehow turns into months, and wondering why you just can't stay consistent? I get it because I've been there. This video is not about what to eat or which workouts to do. This video is about the systems and mental models that make it easier to stay consistent than to quit. Think of this as a shortcut.
Yes! 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 Yes!
The stuff I wish I'd figured out earlier so I could have skipped all the false starts. And fun fact, I didn't read Atomic Habits until much later in my journey, and when I did, I realized I'd already been doing most of what James Clear talks about in his book. Honestly, that was the best kind of confirmation that I was on the right track, and it gave me even more reason to keep going. And like he says, you don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems. So now I want to share what those systems have looked like in my own life and how you can take them, adapt them, and make them work for you. Step 1. Commit to a plan and remove the debate. Ever notice how the longer you think about whether to work out and how to get yourself to do it, the more reasons you find not to? How many workouts have you skipped because you were still deciding if you felt like it that day? That's the effect of decision fatigue creeping in. A 2020 paper published in the Journal of Health Psychology explains that the more decisions you have to make in a day, the more mental energy gets drained, making it harder to choose actions that align with your long-term goals. In other words, if you leave the should I work out today decision for the moment, you're far more likely to talk yourself out of it. The truth is, your mind thrives on structured predictability and frictionless systems. Committing to a plan is about defining that structure and then baking in the predictability. But before you can do that, you need a clear purpose, your why. Why do you want to get fit? It could be anything: to feel better in your own skin, to look great for a vacation, to have more energy for your kids or your job, or maybe you want to feel alive on your birthday. But here's the thing, while goals can get you started, fitness isn't a short-term fix or a project. Say you reach your goal by your birthday, then what? The key is to set up a process that makes it easy to keep going even after you've hit your short-term milestones, and that's how you turn fitness into a habit you can't imagine skipping. Talking about goals, this is where a lot of people rely on motivation. But motivation is like the weather. It changes every day. And I live in Canada, by the way.
Fresh cold front swooping down from Canada.
You probably heard the phrase discipline beats motivation. What it really means is this: motivation is powered by how you feel in the moment, but discipline is powered by where you see yourself in the long run. And discipline becomes much easier when you have two things. 1, a clear why, and 2, a realistic timeline. I recommend planning to start your fitness journey at least 90 days ahead of your target date. That whole 21 days to form a habit is catchy for sure, but for something as demanding as a consistent fitness routine, it's just not enough time. Give yourself a longer runway to make it stick. And once you've nailed your why and your timeline, that's when we focus on the daily nitty-gritty that will take you to your goals and make it stick. Okay, so first things first, we need to establish a plan and remove the debate. And for that, we need 3 ground rules. Number 1, pick a program. Find a plan online, subscribe to fitness apps or classes. I've also linked a prompt in the description that you can use with ChatGPT to generate a personalized gym program for yourself. And you can tailor it to your needs too. Just as a disclaimer, remember to check with a physician or a qualified professional before starting any new fitness program. Number 2, pick the number of days per week you'll work out. Look at your existing schedule and decide what's realistic. For me, 4 days a week worked best. I had more time on Saturday and Sunday, so those were like my non-negotiable days. And I'd fit 2 more workouts during the week, often on the days that I work from home. I recommend not locking yourself into specific days like I'll always go on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday because plans can change. Instead, commit to a set number of workouts each week, so if something comes up, you can shift without beating yourself up. Number 3, pick a time of day. Aim for consistency, especially in this area, because working out around the same meal times can be very effective. But stay flexible because as long as you hit your weekly workout count, the exact time can shift when life happens. The thing is to consider these three as your non negotiables. For me, that meant telling myself, this is what I'm doing for the next 3 months. I'm not changing it every time I see a new trending workout on TikTok. It's kind of like brushing your teeth. You don't ask yourself if you feel like doing it, you just do it because that's the plan and that's what we know to do. So once you've laid the foundation and you're ready to commit, there should be no more back and forth because if you're deciding in the moment, you've already lost half the battle to feelings and emotions. And this is exactly why this step is about setting your intention in advance. It reduces the cognitive overload because when decision fatigue kicks in, it will almost always push you toward the easier, less preferred option instead of the one that's right for you. The less you negotiate with yourself, the more you win. Step two, make it easy to show up. Ever notice how the harder it is to start something, the easier it becomes to just skip it? I realized my problem wasn't just lack of motivation or discipline, it was friction. Too many steps between me and getting to the workout meant I'd find reasons to just skip it altogether. And thinking in terms of setting up systems was a game changer. So, this is where once you have a plan, you focus on removing every obstacle that might stop you from showing up. In fact, the nudge theory also explains how reducing friction or the small barriers to action dramatically increases follow through on the things we actually want to do. The easier you make it for yourself to do something, the more likely you are to stick with it. Here's what removing barriers look like for me, and you might find some of these work in your own life too. Number one, meal prep. Prep your meals in advance so you're not scrambling for food or making impulsive choices in the moment. Like I said earlier, don't wait to decide, just have it done. Even small things like using Tupperware you actually like can make a big difference because when you enjoy the process, you're far more likely to stick with it. I also recommend setting aside a day like Sunday to shop and prep for the week, with maybe one more quick prep session midweek. If you're serious about hitting your fitness goals, this is actually a non negotiable and one of the most foolproof ways to get to your goals faster. If you're going out to eat, decide in advance what you'll order. And it needs to be something that aligns with your goals. You almost always make better choices when you've given yourself time to think rather than deciding in the moment. Number two, ensure easy access to a workout space. This is one of the biggest barriers people face. If your workout location isn't convenient to get to, every little obstacle becomes a reason to just skip. For me, it meant living close to a gym, which worked out by chance. But for you, it might mean investing in a few key pieces of equipment for your home or subscribing to an online workout program you can access anytime. The easier it is to get started, the fewer excuses you'll have and the more consistent you'll be. Number three, buy good clothes, shoes, and gear. When you feel confident in what you're wearing, you're far more likely to want to put it on. The right gear not only makes workouts more comfortable, it creates a mental shift. You start to see yourself differently, and that identity boost makes it that much harder to skip because you're dressed for the part and you've seen how good you look and feel in that mode. And yes, all of this can cost money, but I see it as an initial setup cost. When you think of it as an investment in yourself and your future, you will realize the returns are massive. And once you've got everything you need and experience how easy it is to stay on track, quitting stops even feeling like an option. Step three, build accountability into the process. Question for you: how much easier is it to skip a workout when no one else knows you even plan to do it? Accountability can be public, like posting your progress on Strava, Reddit, Instagram, or Discord channels, or private, like having a gym buddy. The point isn't to show off, it's about the psychology of showing up for something beyond yourself. We humans are wired to show up when someone is watching, even if that someone is just the future version of you. And this is not just theory, there is research to actually back it up. A meta analysis of over 100 studies found that making your progress visible to others significantly increases your chances of achieving your goals. And the American Society of Training and Development found that having an accountability partner can boost your follow through rate to 65%. And if you check in regularly, it can go as high as 95%. Once we've told someone we'll do something, we feel a type of social pressure to be consistent. And skipping a workout isn't just about you anymore, it's letting down people who believe in you, or depending on how you want to frame it, it's proving your haters right. Whichever way motivates you more, use it. When I post on social media, I'm creating a visual log that reminds me I'm someone who works out. And as a bonus, some people get inspired watching me show up. Win win. And on the days I feel low, I can sometimes scroll through my own feed and get motivated again. So find a version of accountability that works for you. It doesn't have to be public, it could be as simple as a private document or a spreadsheet where checking off each workout just feels satisfying AF.
All right.
Step 4, create triggers that make you want to go. Personally, this one's my favorite hack. You know that feeling when a certain song, smell, or even outfit puts you in a whole different mood? What if you could use that to make working out automatic?
I'm listening.
Yes, you can program your triggers. Basically, the cues that signal to your brain that it's time to work out. It's the same conditioning principle used in training pets. If you consistently pair a cue with a positive experience or reward, your brain will respond with the desired behavior without hesitation. In fact, a 2007 article published in Psychology Review shows that habits form more easily and stick longer when they're tied to consistent environmental cues, which essentially means you need structure and predictability in your environment. For me, that's a playlist. For example, when I hear the first 20 seconds of certain songs, my brain is like,
All right, let's go.
this is actually a pretty powerful hack when you think about it. Most of our habits and repetitive behaviors are actually the result of some kind of emotional trigger. If we can learn to hack those triggers, we can get ourselves to take action without all the internal back and forth. I talk more about hacking emotional triggers in this 5-minute video linked in the description. So, how do we set up triggers? Let's go back to my playlist example. The reason it worked for me is because I listen to the same tracks every time I hit the gym. And I just loved vibing and pushing myself to train to those tracks. Now, when I'm not at the gym and one of those songs comes on, I want to be at the gym. Here are 5 other examples of setting up triggers. You can link it to your morning coffee. You can make it a rule like coffee first, then gym. The coffee then becomes the cue for your workout. Make a system to track visible progress. Keep a simple wall calendar or a habit tracker and mark an X every time you work out. You won't want to break the streak after some time. Like, I use my Apple Watch to do this, and maybe it's just my personality, but I'd hate to break the streak. But it does happen sometimes, and that's okay. But most days, I'll make sure I hit the streak if I can. You can use a scent as a cue. A certain body spray, lotion, or essential oil you only use before the gym can act like a mental switch. It can also be a healthy reward. If you can get something small like your favorite snack to create a positive association to working out, then your brain starts to crave the action that leads to the post workout reward. And going off of my other video linked in the description below, you can replace an old habit with a workout. For example, if you usually scroll TikTok when you're stressed or after coming home from work, train yourself to hit the gym instead. Over time, your brain connects the cue to the action, so you don't have to convince yourself every single time. The trick, however, is to stay consistent with it. Step 5, guard your mindset. Social media is a double edged sword. Used well, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and Pinterest can inspire you and help you visualize what's possible. But used poorly, they make you feel behind, unworthy, and ready to quit. The key here is to believe you can achieve what you see, but without trying to become someone else. When I first started, I followed many people I found inspiring, but I was very intentional about keeping it as motivation and not a trap for comparisons. And here's your reminder, most people who look incredible on social media aren't always showing you the years of work behind their physique. They're showing you a 30-second highlight reel. So stay in your lane, focus on your journey, and remember, your timeline is yours, not theirs. All right, now on to the part that you're probably most curious about, the mistakes I made and how you can skip them to save time and get results faster. First mistake, waiting to earn the investment. I used to think I'll get good gear or premium gym membership once I've proven I can stick to it. So I'd make do with what I already had, even if it was a 6-year-old t shirt and faded tights, telling myself I was just testing my commitment. Looking back, that mindset was basically me subconsciously expecting to fail. Like, if I didn't invest upfront, I wouldn't be as disappointed when I quit. The truth is, the investment itself is what helps you stick to it. Build a foundation first, and you give yourself a real chance to follow through. Mistake 2, thinking that fitness had to be cheap. Yes, adopting the fit lifestyle can be expensive. Healthy food, protein, gym fees, the bills add up. But I've stopped seeing it as a cost and started seeing it as an investment in how I look, feel, and perform in life. My money isn't wasted. You can literally see the results on me. And honestly, I think confidence is priceless. Mistake 3, skipping rest days out of fear. In the beginning, it's normal to avoid taking days off because you're scared you lose momentum and never get back to it. But in the long run, there will be days you have to rest. You can't feel insecure about it. Rest is absolutely important because if you overtrain, the price you pay is far greater than if you go at a sustainable pace. You will learn to trust yourself over time. Mistake 4, not hating the alternative enough. When I'm not motivated to work out now, I ask myself, what's the alternative? What would I rather be doing if not for working out? And if the answer results in feeling an emotion or visualizing a version of myself that I hate more than the temporary discomfort of the workout, I just go. And if I've already made it easy to go using the steps that I mentioned earlier, there's absolutely no excuse. It just gets done. Mistake 5, not saying no to things that don't align. This one was tough. You might lose some connections or miss out on some fun. But the way I see it, sometimes you have to let some things go to make space for something else. Balance is important, of course, but constantly putting other people's needs ahead of your own slows your progress. Try not to give in to peer pressure if it doesn't feel right. Protect your time and priorities like your results and life depend on it because they do. All right, so that brings me to the end of this segment. As you saw, sticking to your fitness routine isn't about superhuman motivation. It's about systems that make it harder to quit than to keep going. If you set up your environment, your triggers, your accountability, and your mindset, you'll win on the days that motivation doesn't show up. And this is not just about fitness. These same systems can help you learn a skill, build a business, or stick to any habit that matters to you. If one of these tips resonated with you, let me know in the comments, and I'd love to know which one you're going to double down on. And if you want me to break down exactly how I set up my workout week or meal prep for consistency, let me know. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.